Hello, sorry about that. Funny little button that we accidentally pressed because we see big red buttons and we press them.
It's pretty much true, that is, actually. It was really weird because you were both sitting here going, I can't hear you. And then.
Yeah,
now
we didn't think
understand
anything was wrong. I
No.
think maybe we're going to get yelled at later
Yeah.
for this, but
Let's
kick off the
knows
day.
I'm like an iPad kid, okay? If I see a button, I have to press it because otherwise it's there and I have to see what it does. Anyway, welcome back to EPIC44. Good afternoon. I'm Reaper Steve, joined by the wonderful Affinity. We're going to do an esports update for you now, just so we can kind of cover over some of the tournaments that have been going on over the last 24 hours, and currently going on right now, obviously, as we talk. We have Valorant being played at the moment. We have CS2 being played at the moment. I think Osu are on a break at the moment.
They
were when we left.
So, yeah. I will say, CS2 at the moment is mostly Inters, which,
yeah,
not to put it down by nature. I know people take this very seriously.
Inters is Inters at the end of the day. It's an important part of...
not getting into the bracket.
I was going to say losing, to be honest with you. But
I was trying to be a little bit nicer, but yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Shall we cover a bit of Osu? Because we had a chat with Bubbleman about 20 minutes ago, more or less, backstage. We had a quick chat, catch-up conversation. Osu is going to be our first final of the day.
It is.
Our first esports final of the day. We have Community Belt and all that kind of stuff coming up as well, of course. But first proper esports final of the day is Osu this afternoon, or this evening even. Couple of returning figures. And I know that you've got a bit more of a rundown on them than I have. But I know that we have Rudge, not Fudge.
It's Rudge, sounds like fudge.
My bad, apologies.
Rudge like fudge is how the pronunciation was explained to us.
Mahmoud is also in there as well at the top two of the bracket as they currently stand. Bubbleman kind of put it to us that it's highly likely that's going to be our final. But at the same time, still, things are still going on.
So it's a bit of an interesting one because they are both veterans to EPIC.LAN. And, of course, it's only been, I think, this third event that we've had, Osu.
Yep.
And they have both been, top contenders coming into this. Now, we've seen Rudge went on, I do believe, to win it all.
Yes, last time.
And there was a matchup, and it was a little bit earlier than everyone expected, in the quarterfinals between Rudge and Mahmoud. And now, on paper, it was a sweep.
Yes.
But that's in terms of points. What that doesn't do justice is how close each of those points were.
Yep, indeed. I mean, we watched a little bit backstage with him also because he fetched his laptop back and he was kind of showing us how the bracket works out, how the teams are kind of working themselves through the weekend. And, yeah, I mean, they were like less than a couple of thousand points off each other at one point.
Yeah.
Also, it's one of those sort of games where I'm learning it as I go along because I find it utterly fascinating to watch how fast these players move.
It's insane.
And I'm also then looking at it going, I would not want to go up against them in any kind of FPS game or fighting game, even for that matter.
No, because if you can do that with the rhythm as well,
the rhythm, yeah, that's the thing of it.
Clicking heads is nothing.
Oh my god!
CS players have got to be scared if
Definitely.
the Osu community ever decides to uprise.
The average score currently between the top two contenders for the finals, you're looking at 952,000 for Rudge. And you're also looking at 916,000 points. So that's an average score between the two of them, which is massive. There's a bit of a jump between them and third place. Elf is 698,000.
Okay, bit of a jump.
Bit of a jump, yeah.
So this is definitely shaping up to be our finalist. But it's been quite interesting. From everything that we've seen, Mahmoud has been consistently second.
Yes.
And it's just been sort of a trend. So in the final, gonna have to really break through this barrier to take home the trophy potentially. Some other people that worth mentioning. Stormer, who is a returning player, isn't quite in that top 3 position, but has been making really steady improvement. Has been mentioned and sung praises of by the casters, which is really nice to see as well. And it's great to see, returning faces doing that. And then,
I mean, Velcro Shoes also, because I remember we were speaking to Bubbleman and a few other people saying how much Velcro Shoes has improved. Currently sitting at 4th place as well in the bracket. So I know that they have their favourite also, which is Doom.
Yeah, Doomsday.
Doomsday, yes.
Sort of a fan favourite. And
yeah.
ex-Global Rank 1, I believe, hit Global Rank 1 in 2011.
Yes.
Has, in more recent years, still been, UK Rank 1. Is not quite doing as well in the overall sort of leaderboard, but he's here. He's a fan favourite. The people love him. And it's great to have these sort of faces at the community as well. So Osu, honestly, ever since they've come, they're just the nicest
They're
people.
they're
As well.
great.
The
They're awesome.
community's amazing.
I like watching it, watching the casters back because their players themselves is that they're also taking part as well at the same time of the weekend and that, and you're like, just they're all having fun. Do you know what I mean? That's the most important thing with it.
And one of our Valorant casters as well, also doubles in their
Really?
spare time, is Osu Shiba, I believe, is also very Osu aligned.
Ah, okay.
Because we were chatting earlier, and they were like, "Oh, well, I mean, if it's gonna be close, I really want to watch the final." I said, "If you need me to hop in, I will," because there's a conflict
yeah,
of interest.
yeah,
Loves
yeah.
playing both fields.
Yeah. Perhaps Aim Labs isn't the one anymore. Then I need to switch over.
I think maybe so. But I think that about rounds up for Osu.
Osu, yeah, definitely. First stage final for today, so that should be later on this evening. Jump in, stay tuned for that one on. It'll be on EPIC.LAN, our channel, and I believe it's also going to be going out on EPIC.LAN 5. Maybe, not sure. We'll come back on that one and let you know for definite. But either way, you can watch all the live content there. And if you're here in the arena itself, pop over to the main stage and you can watch it in the comfort of the chairs. You know, grab a beer.
And the atmosphere
Or a soft
as well.
drink. Or a soft drink.
The Osu crowd, you could see them on the edge of their seats. I love it. But talking of dedicated and strong communities,
StarCraft 2.
StarCraft 2.
Yeah, indeed. StarCraft 2 is going to be our last final of the day today. It'll be myself, as usual, because I quite enjoy doing the StarCraft final, in fairness. We've got some, returning familiar faces, but also returning familiar faces over many, many years of playing at EPIC.LAN, which is amazing to see. Razor's still there as well, also going strong. Gerald, the returning champion from last year.
Icy, who hasn't been doing as well in the rankings in recent years, but has been attending these EPIC.LAN events consistently nearly from the start. I swear, it has been years and years. So
well, we took a look at the Wikipedia page, didn't we? Because you were like, well, I want to see when the last time we had him placed within the top 3. And it just goes on and on and on.
And if you just look at attendance as well, is basically has never really missed a LAN.
Never missed a LAN. We can see here Figueroa is on our screens at the moment. He is currently the Group B winner. 6-1 games in a row, 0 losses, got 18 points. Same as Gerald, in fairness, as well, also from Group A. 6 wins, 0 losses, and 18 points. Gerald, of course, being the reigning champ. But Razorblade still kicking through. I mean, it should be interesting to see. His last win at EPIC.LAN was 2022.
That was my first ever EPIC.LAN.
It was your first ever
years ago, almost to the day.
It would be kind of interesting to see that happen, because we've had a couple of things like that happen over the weekend where we've seen returning people come through for Quiddo's first year this year. Or his 1 year anniversary or 2 year anniversary. It might be nice to see that happen. But yeah, I'm very much looking forward to the final. It's one of those sort of ones where, you know, I've played it a bit to get an understanding of the game, but I enjoy watching others play it more than playing it myself, because I am terrible. But at the same time, you can see the kind of method and the madness and how they play. We're very fortunate, of course, that we can sit backstage with like the observers, the producers, and hear live from them.
Yeah,
where they're like, "Oh, shouldn't have done that. Should have done this," and kind of give us a bit of an insight more into it. But currently, they're still playing. Gerald has said won Group A with 18 points.
Reigning champion as well.
Reigning champion indeed. Zayn came in second in Group A with a total of 15 points, 1 loss there for him. Razorblade, identical score, 5 wins, 1 loss, 15 points.
So some important context here as well for people that may be new to EPIC.LAN StarCraft is Razorblader, also known as Raza.
Raza, yeah.
Which is really interesting because on Wikipedia,
he has two
different pages.
Yeah.
One
they
for
link to one, in
Razorblader. They link to one, but he's listed as both Raza and Razorblader within the same list.
Yep. And it's just constantly there.
I remember
the entirety of it.
First ever LAN, I was talking to the StarCraft community, like, tell me a little bit about this guy, and they were like, "Oh, you should try throwing the razzle dazzle joke." And I don't know if that was sort of a trick question.
It was a trick question, 100% a trick question. But StarCraft 2, yes, will be our last final of the day today for Saturday. Tomorrow we have 2 big games again, important games for the rest of the weekend. Our finals for the main stage going to be Valorant and also CS. But we'll start things off with Valorant because they're going to be first on stage tomorrow morning. Your going to be leading the charge on that one.
I am indeed.
Very much looking forward to watching it. I enjoy watching Valorant. I can't play it for the life of me. I can't play it like Willie G does, at least anyway. Their team have been hammering teams at the moment throughout the entirety of the series.
They have indeed. And of course, they were last LAN's winner. It's the same core. I think there's a couple of players switched out, but the core itself is the same.
Main four, I think.
I think it was main four are the same.
Yeah.
And actually, I think they came sort of out of nowhere last LAN because I think the team name was a little bit, misleading.
Yeah, it was, because I remember us talking about, like, underdog stories, this, that, and the other. But in reality, you look at the four core that are there, they're very, very, very good players. They're very well matched with each other as well, also. Currently,
Judge play.
Judge play.
I love the judge.
7 wins currently at the moment as far as they went through in group stages. They're currently playing against Expansion Pack. Or they started playing against Expansion Pack at 10 a.m. They're probably finished by now, though.
So I got a little bit of an update on this.
Oh, you did, yes.
Willie G Palace, they were 7-0, completely flawless, hadn't dropped a single map up until about 10 minutes before we were meant to go live. And I went and said hi to the admins, and they said, yeah, they're now 1-1 in their current series. So, I mean, actually on the cards that this doesn't go their way. I'm not expecting it.
No,
it would
of course,
be an upset.
I mean, you can get reverse loops. That does happen.
Exactly.
We've seen it happen on a number of occasions with top seed teams that you expect to get all the way to the finals with very little kind of hesitation, get knocked out in the elimination stage, or get knocked out into the lower bracket in the elimination stage and recover back into the final and win it. So, it does happen for definite. You had a wonderful casters there a little bit in the background talking about the game as it was going on.
Exactly. And of course, it's good to talk about the opponents they're up against. So we've got Willie G Palace on one side of things.
7F.
7F, who is flawless in the other group. I don't know if they're in a series and if they've dropped a map just yet. But as far as I was aware going into this, we have not seen them lose one yet. So some of the 7F players, has a mix of some familiar faces. So it's got one of the Cult players who were finalists last LAN. So again, no strangers to the stage.
No.
This is looking to be the matchup going into the final if everything goes according to the plan and seeding, which sometimes it doesn't.
Sometimes it doesn't. Indeed, it does. But yeah, they're currently playing against Alarus.
Spray coming through. Soldier finds one.
So that should be an interesting matchup for them at least. It's one of those sort of finals where you kind of think that it's written.
Your legacy is being told right here. Starting strong.
It's over,
but they know Marino's in their spawn.
Marino
gets the first, managing to land the shots on.
Open and on the cards for any team. But yeah, we currently have we have the semi-finals currently being played at 10 o'clock. That's going to be for the upper semi-finals, and then the lower brackets will sort of kick off and go back into their different rounds. I think lower bracket first round is started. We should see the second round start around 2 o'clock this afternoon.
I do believe so. So a little bit of a line for some of those players potentially.
Yeah, indeed. 10 a.m. start is never a lie, though. Let's be honest.
No. In all fairness, we don't even have a 10 a.m. start. We had a midday start,
lucky,
and that was luxurious.
It's very luxurious.
I mean, the staff sleeping area does directly overlook the arena, so I do get woken up to the sounds of the CS2 Inters tournament.
I can imagine that being wonderful on the Thursday evening when players are here getting ready to start their kind of like scrims to get ready for big day Friday start of run and getting things ready. But as far as finals are concerned, that will start tomorrow. Best of 3 on stage, 10 a.m. tomorrow morning. So another early start for all the teams involved coming into that grand final. A late one though as well. Also, when you think about it, because the upper bracket and lower bracket will finish at like 12 o'clock tonight, I think, or 11 o'clock. I could probably tell you actually, thinking on
PM.
PM.
I think, because I seem to recall hearing that it started at 9 o'clock.
Yeah, 9
so
o'clock for
if
the
it's
lower
quick,
final.
potentially maybe not, but I don't think it will be. We're seeing how competitive this is getting. So
we've seen it time and time again. I mean, like we've had it previously with like the CS teams. They're going map to map constantly right way through to the end until they actually get up onto the main stage itself. So it can definitely happen.
That's how they like it, though.
It is how they like it, in fairness. Touch wood for the Valorant guys. They can get that best of 3 done this evening at 9 o'clock, and they can have a little bit of a respite, ready for the morning. Our commentators can get their voices back in some sort of line.
I've got lozenges backstage waiting.
If
No
you
one's
need
come up
them.
to me just yet. And in all fairness, I've never really got to a Saturday without someone going, can I
Can I have a
one,
lozenge?
please?
Yeah, no, it happens. It definitely happens to the best of us.
I wouldn't need one, I think.
No, I think
After karaoke tonight.
Well, after karaoke. Oh, yeah, you're karaoke this evening. I can't
Can't
do
say
that.
no.
I will be tucked up in bed in the hotel.
Missing
Sweet,
out. That's what I'm hearing. You're going to be tucked up
Dreaming
in the
sweet
hotel.
dreams.
Missing out.
I can't wait for it. It's going to be the best sleep of my entire life. And then I wake up in the morning to a message from you going, you should have stayed for karaoke. It was insane. And that's
I
literally
do
all I'll
this
get.
every single LAN, and then
Yeah.
you guys should stay for karaoke, and then every time you don't stay for karaoke. But
I'll tell you what, I might stay a little bit this evening. Depending
Just
on how
for a start.
StarCraft goes, and I'll check in with the Valorant guys, and then I'll slowly make my way over to where karaoke is and the main exit to go out to my car. But anyway, we'll figure that out.
But we've got one more.
We have one more, yes.
One more tournament to
One more
think
tournament
about.
to discuss. CS2. Okay,
The
so
beast.
yeah, obviously you and I come from the background of CS2, so we're a little bit biased. Okay, I will say that for definite. We're a little bit biased. We have got basically 44 teams, no, 45 teams, I think it is.
I thought it was 43, but it might have changed because the numbers always fluctuate.
They fluctuate up and
last
down
time,
constantly.
Yeah, like last minute.
Which is just a massive amount of teams to actually run through from start through finish. We'll highlight a few of them though, because there's a few games today which are like spicy that we want to watch for definite. We've got some clips over yesterday's games. There's one in particular I want you to keep an eye out for. Okay, I watched it earlier backstage, and I had to watch it a couple of times just to kind of go, yeah, that is actually really funny in the end, kind of thing. So I made sure they've stuck it in there for us.
Good clips from Epic.
There have been very good clips this weekend so far. Yeah, I mean, flying forward into the clips that we're seeing at the moment, they're very short, but at the same time, they're short and sweet. Same with a lot of CS clips usually are. We have a number of teams that are returning, obviously, under different names. I'm not going to say it's the same thing every year with a couple, or every Epic. Teams will go back after the weekend, they'll break up, reform, new name, new brand, and then start again.
UK CS teams and breakups? Absolutely not.
Yeah,
but
no, it never happens. Don't what you're on about.
There's a couple of important ones. So
Yes.
Alaska, which
yes.
favourites to win, and anyone that has said otherwise is having an insane amount of copium here.
Yeah, definitely. There's copium, and then there's that.
Then there's that, which, of course, the ex-Verdant lineup.
Yes.
Of course, Verdant took a step away from CS to focus on League recently, so they are LFO at the moment.
Yes.
But 7-0 flawless as of this morning.
Yep, indeed.
And they had their first round of the bracket yesterday, but in groups, nobody got more than 2 rounds against them.
Which is
In a
insane.
match. They had
like,
13 O's, 13 1s. I think there were 2 13-2s, and that was the closest anyone got.
When you
but-
consider you play 7 games back to back and you lose 2 rounds, like
Yeah.
that's hard. That's hard graft.
And
that is.
I think, when I say this, I think one game went, was it 13... I think they had like a 13-6 and a 13-11 in their bracket matchup. And the other teams to point out here potentially are, there are 3 teams that have won 6 and drawn 1, which, you know, not quite the 7-0 flawless, but still up there.
I mean, still good games nonetheless. I mean, Dusty, obviously, we can see them on screen at the moment.
Yeah.
They're one of the teams that we're kind of keeping an eye on. Trap base as well,
Strat-based
also.
comprised of 2 of the usual roster of casters for EPIC.LAN.
Yes, indeed. It's kind of strange to see casters playing CSGO at EPIC.LAN when you consider 90% of the time they're sat upstairs going, my voice.
Yep.
And then all of a sudden
Yep.
jumping into games. 8 Sins and Dusty again. 8 Sins actually second in the leaderboard at the moment as far as,
Yep, one of the
games.
6 wins, 1 draw team.
1 draw, yeah, exactly.
And again, favourites to win this. Well,
Yes.
not favourites to win, but definitely top 4 favourites.
top
yeah.
4 to get in that grand final spot, I would say very likely. I mean, you've also got Belfast Storm as well in there.
I
so.
was literally just about to mention them.
Yeah, there's a fair amount of teams that are kind of like very top quality to get into that top 4 spot, and I think you're right in what you're saying with 8 Sins being in there, Belfast Storm being in there. What were you going to say about Belfast Storm?
So Belfast Storm have been on absolute tear recently. They've been going toe-to-toe. They've been finalists in all of the big UK events up against Verdant. Not quite able to clutch the win yet, but the gap has been closing for
This
them.
is it.
This is the clip you said where they've done.
Can we watch that one back again, if possible?
Clip number 30.
Clip number 30 for us, if possible.
But
yeah, Belfast Storm have been
Belfast Storm
smashing
play
through.
Alaska. Oh, I'll
here we
talk
go.
after this clip. There you go.
Oh, ring around the rosy, ring around the rosy.
In all fairness, I've seen those last longer.
So have I, and it's Thor though as well, because like
love
we've
it.
seen him do that before.
But you can
to
do
other
it
players.
behind the actual like center pillar of the
Yeah,
bombs as
yeah,
well.
you
Like,
can, yeah.
Anubis is a menace for it. But so Belfast Storm play Alaska X Verdant at 2 p.m. today
2 p.m. today, yeah.
in the upper bracket quarterfinals. So that is going to be one hell of a match. Yeah, that is one of the matches that you will see people crowded
Around the
teams
back of their
playing.
seats, 100%.
And I have a feeling, and I've said this from the start, I think that this will be the matchup we see in the finals.
Do you think so?
There's a lot of people saying 8 sins. I genuinely, in my heart, believe we will see Alaska, Belfast Storm.
I mean, 8 sins are going up against Antarctica at 2 o'clock as well at the same time.
Another favourite up there.
Another favourite team for definite, but I kind of back you on that. I mean, you know, Belfast Storm playing against Alaska.
It's on stream next, I have just been told, which is...
Yeah.
That's going to be one to watch. I'm telling you now, it's going to be beautiful.
We've got the PC building come up straight after this on the main stage, and I don't think you and I are involved in that, so I'll probably
two monitors,
you
want both streams up.
Both streams up at the same time. I'll be backstage watching it. I've got an 45. No, actually, I've got 2 hours until my utter disappointment of watching Wills play Ireland. So,
oh God,
I mean, either way, no, I have to. Unfortunately, it's part of my heritage. It's like a legal requirement. If I go back home tomorrow and I get on the bridge and they're like, "Oh, did you watch the game?" and I say no, they'll be like, "Right, go back to Catherine, mate. Sorry."
Yeah, we don't want you here anymore.
Yeah, you're not welcome.
I mean, I don't know. I think in a priority, I think the Belfast Storm Alaska game. I mean, as
I
I said,
think
I
that's gonna be
genuinely
one
think
to
that this
watch.
is the game we see in the final.
Yeah, well, this is the thing. Belfast Storm have got it in them. Both teams have got it in them to come back and do a reverse sweep.
Absolutely.
Anyway. Like 100%. Like there's no doubt in my mind that either one of them could come back up into the upper final.
So with this as well is I was speaking to Freddie Grimmy Rana, who is coaching the team, which when it was first announced, I raised a little bit of an eyebrow, but he's absolutely been killing it.
Conflict of interest with the old UKCS stuff as well. Never mind.
He runs it now. He runs it.
I know. I saw the announcement. I'm very proud of him.
I
remember doing some commentary with him a very long time ago, and I'm very proud to see him where he is at the moment.
He's doing awesome.
Yeah.
But I sat down with him and I was like, "So are you here helping out with UK CS:GO stuff as well?" And he was like, "Yeah, when we get knocked out." And I was like, "Ooh, we're not feeling confident." He was like, and then they played the first 5 games, and I was like, "Oh, absolutely, the confidence
gone.
I think he was
right
trying to be humble.
He
was trying to be humble, and you know, in our hearts, we knew they were going to be making a deep run anyway.
They
but
were.
Excited to see that.
Excited indeed. I mean, so tomorrow now, grand final for CS is going to be 1 o'clock.
If everything's running on time.
Ish. Because again, depends on what happens with Valorant in the morning. If Valorant extend into map 3 and then we go on from there,
7
then things could happen. You know, like anything could happen with it. But realistically speaking, projected for 1 p.m. start. That's going to be here on the main stage as well. Also, a grand final, so you guys can come and sit with us, watch it with us, and enjoy the final for the final day.
For the final of EPIC44.
Yeah.
Now, before we go, of course, a couple of people that we have to thank quickly. So this is, of course, EPIC44 with Intel, the only.
Yes, indeed.
We also have Overclockers UK coming back. Magnificent people over there. Jacob loves it when you message him on Twitter/X and ask for chairs.
Yes, indeed, he does.
We also have...
I see a head pop up glaring there in the corner.
Oh, yeah. We're going to get in the neck later. We also
100%.
have the wonderful people over at ASUS Republic of Gamers who have put some little bit extra into the Valorant tournament as well. So there's a lovely MVP prize that they have gifted towards that hopefully we'll get to show off in a little bit as well. And then, of course, Big Purple. You can't see the big wall right now, but you'll see it for the final, and you know it's there.
Yeah.
So thank you to all of the wonderful sponsors who helped make this event possible, help us put on such a crazy tournament with such incredible teams. But, alas, I think our time on the desk
We've jabbered on for way too long. We've talked about esports for way too long. We could probably talk about it for the rest of the day, to be honest with you, but that would put us behind on everything else that we have wonderfully coming up for you this afternoon.
And then we'd really be in trouble.
And we would definitely be in trouble then. So we'll call it from here. Thank you very much for joining us for the esports update this afternoon. Next up, you have PC building. That'll be happening on stage. People can get involved and take part in that as well also. But otherwise, yeah. Well, I will see you later on this evening myself. I'm not back now until maybe for the IEM thing.
I don't think I'm. Or I think you are back on for the IM thing.
Yeah.
The CS2 map challenge.
Yes, indeed. So you might see me this afternoon. You may not. If not, we'll see you later on this evening. Are you off now? For the
I
rest
am
of the day?
off unless something goes really wrong, but you will see me at karaoke. But with that, we are going to head to a little bit of a break. Production have owned us. So thank you so much, everyone, and we will see you very shortly.
See you soon.